Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check today's video out. Guys, we're going to be talking about timing in today's video. As far as during the day, when you get out on the lake, there are certain techniques and certain places that you want to be at certain times of the day, because in fishing, for the most part, you have what's called bite windows, and that is that bass are not usually going to feed constantly all day long. There's certain periods of the day that are more conducive to feeding. The fishing is going to be a little bit better, and that changes with a lot of different variables. So today I want to talk about how to land in the right place at the right time, when you go fishing. It's definitely going to add up to some more success for you guys. Also, guys, started a couple quick housekeeping tips here. Just wanted to remind everybody to, if you have a chance, to please hit that subscribe button here to Advanced Bass Fishing. It's free and easy to do that. Really appreciate that. And also, I don't know if you guys heard me talking about it, but Tackle Warehouse has got a big spring fishing sale going on right now. So I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to get some tackle stocked up on, using that link's a good way to help the channel at the same time. So really appreciate that. Okay. One of the things about bass fishing is, like, depending upon the time of year, the water conditions, everything, there's going to be certain times and techniques that are better. The fish are simply biting better. And I sort of want to give you guys an overall, just sort of a generic good foundation on what to look for as far as where you want to be fishing and some of the techniques you want to be fishing at certain times of the day. Now, from my opinion, from what I've seen here, so much of the stuff on this, as far as where you want to be at certain times of the day, revolves around the two biggest factors in fishing. You guys hear me talking about it all the time: water temperature and water clarity. This is another thing, that water temperature and water clarity influences the best places and the best techniques at different times of the day. So I sort of want to go over, some things that I have figured out in my own fishing, as far as, sort of get you pointed in the right direction. Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about situations like where you hear people talking about the early morning topwater bite, which overall, guys, I have found in my own fishing that the topwater bite, or people saying, got to get out there early and take advantage of the fish biting on top, it's not that big of a deal. Usually there's a real small window that it works, and very inconsistent day in and day out. But if you want to take advantage of the early morning topwater bite or the late evening topwater bite, you really have to have the right set of conditions. And the right set of conditions for this is you need to have water temperatures that are really over 65 degrees. That's really what is going to make that time frame better. So time of the year, it's like May to October is going to be the best times to get out early to throw topwater, if the water clarity is right. Now, if the water clarity is stained or really off colored, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you have water visibility over about 2.5 or 3 feet, the first couple hours of daylight and the first, 2 hours before it gets dark are going to be good for topwater fishing. Now, other techniques are going to be better later in the day. Now, one of the things that really positions fish up in the day a little bit later is shade. And shade changes throughout the day. It's like if you have like a lay down tree in the water, the shade, the way it hits that lay down tree at 9 o'clock in that morning is going to be completely different than what it's going to be in the afternoon. Any piece of cover that throws shade out, and bass love to be in and around shade. That's why some of your thicker cover options, like fishing around boat docks and fishing around grass beds and flooded trees and, lay down trees in the water, that's usually going to be better. The timing is going to be better more in the mid part of the day. When that sun is straight up overhead, it's going to position those fish in the shade, and you can make your presentations in the shade accordingly with that. Another factor that determines things that work during the course of the day is wind speed. Wind speed can be, it can affect the techniques that you fish negatively or positively. Say, for example, if you don't have much wind, that can be really good maybe for topwater fishing, but it's not going to be that good for like your moving bait power fishing, like your spinner baits and your crank baits, swim baits, something like that. So certain techniques are going to be better with wind. And one of the things you'll find is, say, for example, you figured out how you got a good spinner bait bite going, and right off the bat in the morning, you may catch a couple in the low light conditions, and all of a sudden you don't have much wind. And then they quit biting it. They just get off it for 3 or 4 hours, and then say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the wind picks up 10 or 15 miles an hour and they start biting again. So that's a situational thing that comes with that. And other times, bass simply feed at different times during the day for no rhyme or reason. I have seen several situations where I've struggled to get a bite, or, in the morning, say I was flipping a jig or something, and up in the day I start catching them. And then I've had situations where I can catch them right off the bat flipping, and I can't catch them up in the day. I'll give you guys one prime example. I was fishing a Bassmaster tournament down at Lake Eufaula, Alabama years ago, Bassmaster tournament. And I wound up getting second place in the tournament. I just missed winning it by 1 ounce to Denny Brower. But I was flipping and pitching shallow grass, like the, sort of the gator grass in the water, and like 2 or 3 foot of water, thick cover, flipping thick cover. And I could catch a limit like in the first 2 hours, but after about 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, I couldn't get a bite. And that is like completely different than most flipping situations I've been in, but that was unique to that situation. That was just something about the mood and the personality of the bass. So you can have some indicators that give you an idea of where you want to be at certain times of the day, but overall, you just have to listen to the fish and what they're going to tell you with that. Other lures out there that I've seen, that sort of fall into this is, say, for example, a big swim bait or a glide bait. Most of the time, they don't bite them that good early or late in the day. They bite a big glide bait the best during the middle of the day for some reason. And then other lures out there, like I said, you can't get a bite after about 10 o'clock with it. So there's some things that you can do to make adjustments during certain times of the day, but overall, a lot of it is just being there at the right time in the right place. There's just something about instinctually, maybe something with the barometric pressure, sunlight angle, whatever it may be, that causes fish to feed more at certain times of the day. Now, that's when we're talking about actual aggressiveness of fish. Now, you can still trigger bass, from a reaction standpoint, throughout the day, but fishing may not be quite as good as when they're actually feeding. Overall, here's just a real blanket time frame type of the thing. If you're fishing a lake that has clear water, like water visibility over 3 feet or so, early and late in the day is going to be better. And if you got dirty water, most of the time up in the day when the light intensity is a little bit brighter is going to be a little bit more productive for you. And then everything sort of in between that. So anyway, guys, I hope you can use some of that info for that, and we'll check in later.